Welcome back to Timeless Self-Discovery, where we dive deep into ancient wisdom to uncover lessons that transform our modern lives. Today, we're going to explore the spiritual journey of Miyamoto Musashi, a legendary swordsman whose life and teachings transcend the battlefield. But here's the twist. Musashi's mastery wasn't just of the sword. His true power came from his deep connection to Zen Buddhism, a philosophy that shaped every aspect of his life, from combat to personal growth. Musashi's story is not just about swordsmanship, it's about mastering life itself. He lived during a time of constant war and chaos, yet within that, he found an inner stillness, a peace that came not from external success, but from within. And today, we'll uncover how Musashi's Zen practice taught him to navigate both the battlefield and the battlefield of life. Stick with us, and by the end of this episode, you'll have practical insights into how you can bring these ancient lessons into your own struggles, challenges, and everyday moments. Musashi's life began in violence. He fought his first duel at just 13 years old. By his early 20s, he had already won numerous duels to the death, solidifying his reputation as an invincible swordsman. But for Musashi, victory wasn't enough. He sensed something was missing, something that all the skill in the world couldn't provide. In the midst of this relentless life, Musashi found himself drawn to Zen Buddhism. Why Zen? Because Zen teaches us to find calm in the storm, to cultivate inner peace in a world filled with chaos. For Musashi, it wasn't just about defeating enemies. It was about conquering his own inner turmoil. He was constantly searching for balance between the violence he lived in and the serenity he sought. Think about it. How many of us live in our own battles every day? The stress of work, relationships, responsibilities, it can feel overwhelming. But Musashi's journey teaches us that no matter how chaotic the world around us becomes, we can always find stillness within ourselves. Zen Buddhism has a profound concept called Mushin no shin, which translates to no mind. This idea was crucial to Musashi's spiritual and combat philosophy. But what does no mind mean exactly? It's the state where you act without hesitation, without overthinking, without being distracted by doubts or fears. Picture this: Musashi in the middle of a duel. His opponent is charging at him, but Musashi doesn't tense up, he doesn't freeze, he doesn't even think. Instead, he moves effortlessly, his actions flowing as naturally as water. This was the power of Mushin. He had trained his mind to be completely present, so there was no room for fear or hesitation. Now, imagine this in your own life. Think about a time when you were so immersed in an activity that you lost track of time, maybe working on a project, playing a sport, or even having a meaningful conversation. In those moments, you were in flow. You weren't second-guessing yourself or worrying about the outcome. That's a taste of Mushin, and just like Musashi, we can cultivate this state of mind in everything we do. Musashi believed that achieving this mental clarity wasn't just about dueling, it was about everything in life. When we stop overthinking and allow ourselves to fully engage in the present moment, we unlock a power that's far greater than physical strength. It's a calm confidence that carries us through whatever challenges we face. Musashi's greatest battles weren't with his opponents, they were with his own ego. Zen Buddhism teaches the importance of detachment, not just from material possessions, but from the need for validation, from our pride, from the outcomes we chase. Musashi embodied this principle. As Musashi grew older, he walked away from fame, fortune, and luxury. He lived as a wandering swordsman with nothing but his sword and the clothes on his back. He wasn't interested in the approval of others or the glory of winning duels. His victories were internal. Musashi once wrote, "You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain." This was his way of reminding us that true mastery comes from within, not from external validation. Think about how often we chase external success. Whether it's a promotion, recognition, or approval from others, we tie our sense of self-worth to these achievements. But Musashi teaches us that real freedom comes when we let go of these attachments and focus on the process, not the outcome. Picture yourself in a tough situation, maybe at work or in a relationship. How often do you let your ego get in the way? Musashi's Zen-inspired philosophy invites us to step back, detach from the ego and ask, what am I really chasing? And is this pursuit helping me, or is it holding me back? In Musashi's time, duels were life or death situations, yet he treated every encounter as more than just survival. For Musashi, each duel was a test, not just of his skill, but of his spiritual discipline. Zen Buddhism taught him that in the heat of battle, the mind must remain still, unshaken by fear or anger. Imagine standing face to face with an opponent who is moments away from attacking you. Most people would panic, but Musashi trained himself to stay calm, to breathe, to move with precision. He once said, "Perception is strong and sight weak." He understood that what we perceive, whether it's fear, stress, or danger, is often more powerful than what's actually in front of us. Think about your own life. How many times have you faced challenges that felt overwhelming? Maybe it's a difficult conversation, a work deadline, or a personal hardship. In those moments, our perception of the challenge often makes it seem bigger than it is. But Musashi's Zen practice teaches us that by focusing our mind and staying grounded in the present, we can overcome anything. Musashi's deep connection to nature was a central part of his Zen practice. He spent years wandering through the mountains, observing the natural world around him. In Zen, nature is seen as a reflection of the mind, a place where we can learn simplicity, patience, and resilience. Musashi once said, "The way of the warrior is the resolute acceptance of death." But this wasn't just about dying. It was about understanding the impermanence of life, just as nature constantly changes and flows. By embracing this impermanence, Musashi found peace. He didn't fight against the current, he flowed with it. Imagine the last time you faced a situation that didn't go your way. Maybe you lost an opportunity or experienced a setback. Our instinct is often to resist, to fight against what's happening. But Musashi's connection to nature and Zen teaches us that sometimes the best path is to accept, adapt, and flow with the challenges, just as water flows over rocks without breaking. For Musashi, life was an unending practice. Whether wielding a sword or a brush, he applied the same discipline and mindfulness to everything he did. In his later years, Musashi turned to painting and calligraphy, arts that, like combat, required presence, precision, and intention. The principles of Zen informed every stroke of his brush, just as they guided every swing of his sword. There was no separation between the warrior and the artist, because both were expressions of his spiritual practice. What can we take from this? No matter what we do, whether it's working, creating, or interacting with others, we can approach life with the same mindfulness and dedication. Musashi's legacy reminds us that mastery isn't about perfection. It's about showing up day after day with intention and presence. Miyamoto Musashi's life may have been forged in combat, but his true legacy is one of spiritual awakening. His practice of Zen wasn't confined to the battlefield. It extended to every corner of his life, and it can extend to ours too. Musashi teaches us that mastery, whether of the sword, the mind, or life itself, comes not from force, but from inner stillness. The power to overcome our greatest challenges lies not in what we do, but in how we approach each moment, each decision, and each breath. Think about how these lessons apply to your life right now. Where can you cultivate more presence, more calm, and more detachment from the outcomes you chase? What battles are you fighting that could be won by simply letting go? Thank you for joining us on this journey into the spiritual path of Miyamoto Musashi. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Timeless Self-Discovery. Until next time, remember, true strength comes from within.